Hi everyone. So today we're going to do a practice focusing on the shoulders and the neck. So if you can, find a comfortable seat sitting on the floor, resting your hands maybe on your knees or in your lap. You don't need any props for this one, but if you do happen to have a block or two, it might come in handy along the way. So let's go ahead and start to kind of just settle in, relax the shoulders, close the eyes. Why don't we begin by taking a deep breath here in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Let's do that again, deeply breathing in through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Good, and now sealing the lips. Just allowing the breath to naturally flow in and out of the nose. Noticing the pace of the breath. Noticing the depth of the breath. Noticing the breath filling the body from bottom to top. Releasing from top back down to bottom. And now just starting to count your breath here. Observing how long it takes you to draw the next breath in. And how long it takes you to release that breath back out. Taking all of that information in without judgment. And we'll find our way to a nice calming, relaxing style of breathing now. So on your next inhale, inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the breath out of the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold the breath at the bottom again for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And take a deep breath in and let it go. Tucking the chin and dropping the head forward. Just nice and soft, nothing forced. Letting the weight of the head be heavy. And start to lightly just lull the head from side to side. Getting a light stretch in the side of the neck. Nice back and forth, really slow movement here. This is the first movement we've done of the day, maybe feeling a little creaking and crunching there. Good. Just coming back to center now and lifting the head up. Good. And now we're going to drop our right ear towards our right shoulder and just allowing the head to hang heavy. Now, walking your left fingertips out to the left. Taking your right hand and just really lightly resting it on the left side of the head. So we're not pulling, we're not forcing, just the weight of the hand right now is resting on the head. Really lightly now begin to press the head into the fingers or the hand. And just resist back a little bit, crawling those left fingertips over just a little bit more. So creating this sense of action and counteraction in the neck, really feeling this left side of the neck start to wake up. Good. And then just really gently release, feel the head float back into place, and dropping left ear towards left shoulder. Walking those right fingertips out to the right. And then taking that left hand and just resting it softly on the right side of the head. And now gently beginning to press the head into the fingers and just resisting the fingers back into the head. Let the head float back into space. Inhale, swim the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And let's open up the upper back as we inhale, open the arms up like a goalpost. And as you exhale, wrapping the right elbow underneath the left, wrapping the arms around each other for eagle arms. And for this one right now, simply draw the elbows down towards the floor. See if you can relax the shoulders here. Maybe even closing the eyes and tuning into the sensation that we're feeling. Tuning into this sense of release. This deep stretch along the upper back, and the shoulders, and the neck. And then as we inhale, lift the elbows up about shoulder height and press the forearms forward until we feel just a nice deep stretch in the upper back. Good. And then slowly release. Inhale, swim the arms all the way up and overhead again. And as you exhale, bring those arms back to that goalpost shape. Good. This time we're going to take that left elbow underneath the right, wrapping the arms around each other. Drawing the elbows down towards the floor, relaxing the shoulders. Maybe closing the eyes, tuning into the sensation. Good, and then as we inhale, lifting the elbows up to about shoulder height and pushing the forearms forward, really just feeling this nice opening in the upper back. Observing the breath. Taking just one more breath here. Good. And then slowly release. Good. Now we're just going to find our way to a child's pose. So turning over onto your hands and knees. Bringing your big toes to touch and your knees out wide, sinking the arms out in front of you, and just relaxing the forehead down on the floor. Again, we're just going to tune in with the breath here, just starting this warm-up really slowly. Maybe taking 3 breaths here. As we inhale, now rise into hands and knees. Good. And now for this one, we're going to do a little bit of a core wake up. So our creases of our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Knees are stacked right underneath the hips there. Squeeze the upper arms in towards each other. Hug the belly in. And we're going to take our right arm back behind us, thumb facing the floor. Good. As we're doing this, press your left hand into the mat. Imagine dialing your left thumb forward. Keep breathing. I like to close my eyes here so I can really sense the muscles that are working. Just notice all those abdominal muscles really starting to wake up. Good. And now taking your right arm out to the right, palm facing down, right off the shoulder. Notice the change in the muscles that are working. Maybe feeling those left side lower obliques here. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat. Good. As you inhale, swing the right arm completely forward, right in line with the front of your mat. Plug the right shoulder back into the socket. Press that left hand down. One more breath. Good. And then just release. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. In between, let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. So as we exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the head, tucking the chin. And as we inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, relaxing the shoulders. Good. Rounding the spine, dropping the head, tucking the chin. And again, as you inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Coming back to neutral. And just set up again so that you feel really strong here. Again, the hands are pressing down, the upper arm bones are hugging in, the low belly is squeezing in, and the back of the neck is long. And now take that left arm back behind you, palm is facing the hip. And breathe. Trying not to lean too much into one side. Pressing the right hand down, squeezing the belly in. Maybe again closing the eyes, tuning into the muscles that are working to support you here. Good, and now floating that left arm out to the left, palm facing down. Swimming that left arm forward now, thumb facing the ceiling, plugging the shoulder into the socket, staying really strong here, a few more breaths. Good, and release. Taking one more round of cat-cow as we exhale, tucking the tail again, rounding the spine, dropping the head. And as you inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, relaxing the shoulders, down and away from the ears. Good. And then let's come back through center, and before we even get into a downward facing dog, let's set ourselves up. So again, fingers are spread wide, hug the upper arm bones in, feel this sense of support, and tuck the back toes. Squeeze the low belly in, and now just begin to lift the hips up and back, relax the heels down towards the floor. Good. And then maybe paddling the feet back and forth, stretching out the calves a little bit here, deeply bending into one knee as you press the belly towards the thigh. And doing that just a few times. Good. And now just allowing both heels to relax down. They don't have to touch the floor. Think about the upper inner thighs kind of spiraling back. So if you're gazing in the direction of your heels, we can't see our heels. Toe in, heel out just a little bit. Imagine dragging the thumbs in towards each other. The upper arm bones hug in, relax the head. Good. And now as we inhale, rise to the tippy toes. And as you exhale, softly stepping forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, looking for extension in the spine. And as you exhale, fold, wrap the hands behind the legs, palms against the calves, dropping the weight of the head. Hanging out here for a few breaths. And just breathing. Good, and now softening the knees. Inhale, swimming the arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, bringing the hands back to the heart. Good. Inhale, arms rise. Let's catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And before you lean, press down into that left foot and then lean to the right. Taking your gaze underneath your left arm. Inhale, come back up, gaze up. Exhale, grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand, lean to the left, gaze underneath that right arm. Good. Inhale, rise back up, gaze up. And as you exhale, softly fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, maybe sliding hands just underneath the kneecaps. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Good, and we're going to pause here for a moment. So we want to try to make sure that the hips are not hiking up above the shoulders. Squeeze the muscles of the thigh bones onto the thighs onto the thigh bones. Squeeze the upper arm bones in towards each other. Hug the belly in, really strong here. And now just slightly coming forward on the tippy toes. As we exhale, bend the elbows back in space, lower the chest. Good, and then untuck the toes, lift the chest, Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking 5 breaths here. And breathing in and out of the nose without too much effort. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step, jump, maybe float to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold, soften the knees. Inhale, swim the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. So this time as we inhale, take the arms up and overhead, cross your right wrist behind your left wrist and join the palms together. Slightly press the palms into each other. Think about tailbone lengthening down and just feel the upper arm bones hugging again onto the upper arm muscles, hugging onto the upper arm bones, and begin to lean to the right. And as you're leaning to the right, see if you can stretch your fingertips over to the right just a little bit more. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Release the arms, gaze up. And then cross that left wrist behind the right, join the palms together, and lean left. Again, pressing the palms, maybe gazing underneath that right arm. As you inhale, come back through center, release the hands, gaze up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step on back, top of a push-up. Breathe. Engage the muscles of the thighs, gazing slightly forward in front of your fingertips. Hug the upper arm bones in, squeeze the belly in, come forward on the tippy toes, and lower about halfway down. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Let's inhale, take the right leg straight up in the air. So take a peek back at your toes, relax your left heel, and try to get those right toes to point straight down towards the floor here for this one. Good. Press that left heel down. It doesn't have to touch the mat. Hug the upper arm bones in for support. And begin to rotate your right toes to the right now. So we're trying to stack the hips. And now drawing your right leg back behind you so you feel a nice stretch in the front of the right hip. Keep breathing. Inhale, stretch the legs straight, square the hips. And as you exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee to the floor. Untuck those left toes. And first, imagine that your right foot is glued onto the mat here, and you're trying to drag it back towards the left knee. And now drive down through your right foot, and as we inhale, rise up. Good. Hug the upper arm bones towards each other. Squeeze the low belly and press the tailbone down. And see if you can sink just a little bit further here. Good. Release the arms behind the low back. Inhale to open the heart. Exhale, lean forward about halfway. And squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other here. Keep breathing, gazes slightly forward. Try to keep the neck nice and long. Keep breathing. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Feel the muscles of that left thigh squeeze onto the left thigh bone. Good, really driving down through that right foot and seeing if you can get that right knee to stack right over top of the right ankle. And now as you inhale, stretch the arms forward. Breathe. Draw the hands to the heart. And let's hook our left elbow outside of our right thigh, palms together, maybe gazing up, maybe gazing forward, but really pressing the palms into each other and trying to twist from the navel. Good. How about one more breath here? And as we exhale, look down, drop the hands down, slide that right leg back, downward facing dog. And breathe. Relax the knees.
more breath. Good, and as we inhale now, let's slide the left leg up in the air, toes pointing down, and then soften that right heel down towards the floor. Good, and now rotate the entire left leg to the left. So you're rotating the head of the femur bone right in the socket, and then draw the left heel behind you to stretch the front of the left thigh. Good, inhale, straighten the legs, square the hips. And as you exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee. Good, and again, before we lift up here, drive down through that left foot. Imagine hugging the left heel back towards the right knee. Drive down into that left foot, and as we inhale, rise all the way up. Good. Maybe push forward in the hips if you have a little bit more space. Breathe. Good, and now taking hands behind the low back. Inhale, open the heart, drag the knuckles down the tailbone. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then lean about halfway forward. Good. Now from here, we're going to tuck our back toes, lift our back knee, breathe, hug those upper inner thighs towards each other. Good. Release the bind, take the arms forward. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And let's take that twist. Right elbow towards the outside of the left thigh. See if you can really drive the outer right arm into the outer left thigh. And maybe take your gaze forward. If you feel balanced, you can take your gaze all the way up. Keep breathing. Good, and now looking down, drop the hands down. Step that left leg back to downward facing dog. And then let's drop the knees. Bring the big toes to touch, sink the hips back towards the heels, and just take a quick child's pose here. Taking a moment to come back to the breath. Taking just one more breath here. Good, and then as you inhale, rising back to hands and knees. Good. Now, so we're going to build just a little bit more onto that. So, doing a little bit of the familiar and a little bit of the unfamiliar. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back. Again, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step, jumper, float to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold and soften. Inhale, swim the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, arms rise, and this time, bring the hands behind the low back and interlace them here. So if you can, join the palms together. Keep the elbows bent for now and peel the ears back in line with the shoulders. And now see if you can begin to squeeze the shoulder blades together and drive the knuckles down towards the floor. Getting the arms just as straight as you can, keeping the knees soft and buoyant. And as we exhale, folding forward, releasing the arms away from the low back, dropping the weight of the head and gazing between the shins. Breathe. Keep squeezing the palms towards each other and now bending deeply just into that left knee. Keep the right leg straight. And we'll peel the right shoulder back, gaze over the right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Good. And then dropping that right shoulder down, bending the right knee, stretching the left leg straight, peeling that left shoulder back, gazing over the left shoulder. And dropping that left shoulder down, seeing if you have a little bit more space now to let the arms float further away from the back of you. One more breath. Good, and then relax the arms down. Inhale, lift halfway, find length. Exhale, plant the hands, step to the back of the mat, top of a push-up. Good, take an inhale here. Exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg up in the air. And as you exhale, this time stepping the foot between the hands, but don't drop the knee. So squeezing the inner thighs in, fingertips on the floor, relax the shoulders down, drive down through that right foot, and let's just raise the arms about 45 degrees. Keep breathing. Drive down firmly through that right foot, hug the left thigh muscles onto the left thigh bone, and as we inhale, lift the torso, so crescent warrior. Keep breathing, squeeze the belly in, tailbone down. Good, and now take your right arm back behind you. See if you can gaze in the direction of your right hand. And if you feel somewhat balanced here, take your right arm down your left leg and swim your left arm up and behind you. Couple more breaths here. Keep breathing. Inhale, release the arms, gaze in the direction of your right hand if you can, and then swim the arms forward, back to crescent warrior. Good. As we exhale, swim the hands down to the floor and shift your hips up and back, stretching that right leg, relaxing the left heel. So think of this one like a wide waterfall. We don't need to hop that left foot in for anything. Couple more breaths. Relax the left heel. Bending back into that right knee, sliding that right leg back, top of a push-up. Take an inhale, exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Relaxing the heart towards the thighs, softening the knees. One more breath. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front of the mat. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, arms rise, gazing in the direction of the thumbs. Exhale, hands behind the low back, interlace the fingers. Inhale, drag the knuckles down the tailbone, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, softly fold and bringing the arms away from the low back. Good, bending deeply into that left knee. Right leg stays straight. Peel the right shoulder back, gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, bend the right knee, stretch the left leg, peel that left shoulder back. Gaze over the left shoulder. Good, drop the left shoulder down, see if you can bring those arms a little further away from you. Release the hands down. Inhale, lift halfway, find length. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, taking the left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Don't drop that back knee. Hug the inner thighs in. Push down through that left foot. And as we inhale, rising just about 45 degrees. Bring those arms forward. Pushing down into that left foot. bring the hands to the heart. We're going to take a twist, right elbow outside of that left thigh. Gazing over the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And let's rise up to crescent warrior. Good. Hug those outer hips in, breathe. And now taking left arm back behind you, right arm forward, relaxing the shoulders. Good. And if you can find balance here now, we're going to take that left arm down the right leg. Right arm reaches up and over. Good. Inhale, come back through center. And as we exhale, drop the hands down to the floor. Shift the hips up and back. Stretch that left leg, drop the head. Notice the breath here. And one more breath. Good. And now let's bend back into that left knee and slide the left leg back to downward facing dog. And drop the knees to the floor. Good. And then just walk the knees together here, sitting back on the heels for just a moment. So in just a moment, we're going to be laying down on the floor, and we're going to take a cow face pose on our backs. So a supine cow face pose to really kind of open up the shoulders. And just in case you're unfamiliar with that, I'm going to turn my back on you for just a moment here so you can see what it's going to look like on the floor. So we're going to take one arm is going to be kind of oriented just like this, and the opposite arm is going to be reaching up the back, maybe for the fingers. On our back, we don't need to touch our fingers though, but the general shape of the pose is going to be just like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and lie down on our right side. Just all the way down on the floor, and just resting your head on your arm. Let's rest the left arm on the left hip here. And just take a moment. Start to let the breath relax again. Good, and now taking your left arm behind your back, so your palm is facing out, and feel free to just let the back of the hand rest on the small of the back. Or you can start to walk the hand up the center of the spine. And just relax there for a moment. Good. And now we're going to roll onto our backs. So all the way onto your back, keeping the hand behind your back here. Good. I like to have a bend in my knees for this one. And first, just kind of notice how it feels in the front of your left shoulder. And then take your right arm back behind you. Lift your head, tuck your chin, and see if you can rest your head on that upper arm there. So now, in this one, the legs can do anything at all. I like this constructive rest pose where the soles of the feet are on the floor and the knees are knocking in. But you could certainly maybe join the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out wide. You could even take Shavasana in the lower half of the body if you wanted to here. But let's just close the eyes and see if we can tune into the sensation, start to slow down a little bit. And just noticing where we're feeling discomfort without feeling the need to move out of it. Beginning again to feel the breath filling the body from bottom to top. And same with each exhale here, if you can kind of just let the body submit to gravity a little bit more. Get just a little bit heavier.
5 more breaths here. Release the arm from underneath the head first. And then we're going to roll back onto our right side. Relax that left arm for just a moment, right on the left hip. And just taking in maybe that sense of circulation in the shoulder. That sense of relaxation here. And then rolling onto your backs. And we'll do the same thing other side. So you just roll over onto your left side, and we'll do that same thing. So now the head is on the floor, or on the arm, and that right arm is just resting comfortably on your side. And see if you can start to walk that right hand behind your back, maybe even kind of snake it up the spine a little bit. Notice how it feels. Good. And then we'll roll over onto our back. Again, we want to keep the palm facing the floor here. Good. Just kind of situate yourself someplace that's manageable. Relax the right shoulder. And then slide that left arm up and behind you. Lift the head, tuck the chin, and lay the head back down. Again, just closing the eyes, seeing if you can relax here in this one. Seeing if you can relax into the discomfort. Softening the muscles of the face. And just starting to relax that breath. Taking about 5 more breaths here. Just really carefully, again, release that upper arm. Roll back onto your side and let the opposite arm rest on your hip. Just taking in any sensations that arise here. Now rolling back onto your backs. And setting up for Shavasana, so extending the legs down to the bottom corners of the mat, letting the arms rest comfortably alongside you, and just kind of scooping one shoulder blade underneath you, and then the other. Gently turning the head from side to side, just finding that perfect, comfortable resting spot right in the middle. Allowing the eyes to soften even more. Let's take a deep breath here in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Enjoy your rest.